Many thanks for being with us today. I'm Jonathan Ruddick, CCO at Alexis Energy and Planet Ark Power. Our focus today is on how Alexis is enabling IKEA Australia to transform into a clean energy generator. Joining me today is Jan Gardberg, CEO and CSO of IKEA Australia, who will be touching on IKEA's specific targets for renewables and their IKEA Australia Clean Energy Transformation Project, which Alexis is a key part of. Before we start, I would just like to thank the Startup Energy Transition Team, the World Energy Council, and the German Energy Agency for their tremendous support since we were awarded the 2019 award in the Smart Grids category. There have been too many great things happen for Alexis since then for this presentation, but winning the award really set us on a path to decarbonising the world's grids. This is an artist's impression of the IKEA microgrid project in Adelaide, South Australia, illustrating how we are transforming IKEA's big blue boxes into big green boxes, generating renewable energy, but also providing essential grid stability services that are needed on grids with significant amounts of rooftop solar. And now we have a video that should help explain our technology, noting that the project mentioned in the video is a real-world project with IKEA, with stage 1 starting construction next month and is to be completed in Q2 2021.
When you fly into any city in the world, Rome, Paris, London, Los Angeles, New York, even Sydney, Australia, you look down and you see miles and miles of empty industrial and commercial rooftops, empty. Why don't they fill them up with solar? The electricity grid is one way. If you send energy backwards, it can only handle a little bit of that energy going backwards.
Pour régler le problème, il faudrait investir des milliards d'euros pour améliorer le réseau, ce qui impacterait directement la facture électrique.
It's one of the world's most troublesome, difficult electrical engineering problems there is, and we've solved it. Alexis dynamically, independently solves the voltage problem created by sending energy backwards. And it does that with using this artificial intelligence. It's like a little mini brain sitting in your house or in your business. Harmonizes the grid, harmonizes electricity. You can actually send it both ways down the same pipe. Recently, we've traveled the world, London, LA, Singapore, and people say, we don't have a problem. We put rooftop solar on, it gets accepted into the grid. Well, the problem we're experiencing here in Australia, because we're leading the world with how much rooftop solar is installed, will happen everywhere.
Since 2014, we have developed every aspect of hardware and software for Alexis. The component we use for this technology is cutting-edge large silicon carbide. It's built to last 20 years in extreme conditions.
Alexis is a revolutionary product, and it will certainly change the way we've been managing our grids for the last 100 years.
Previously, you had one or two coal-fired usually, or some sort of fossil fuel power station that was drawing power from a central source and then sending it to the point of consumption in cities.
We have the opportunity now to turn a large industrial building into an urban solar power plant. Even though they're small in comparison to a power plant, it doesn't take many buildings to get rid of those coal power stations.
Alexis is actually a multifunctional device. We talk predominantly about its ability to be able to fix a voltage problem and therefore allowing the export of electricity to the grid. But it does many other things as well. It's kind of like a smartphone. So you can program that device, the charging batteries, ensuring the export of energy to the grid, trading. So we actually have trading algorithms. So we trade directly with the Australian energy market. Our flagship project to demonstrate what we're doing is with IKEA. The system that we have is a large battery, so 3 40-foot containers of batteries. We have a very large solar system on the roof of their building as well. And it's trading into the market and also supplying energy to IKEA. But none of that is possible if you can't actually put that energy back into the grid. And so this is the fundamental problem that Alexis solves. With the IKEA project, we've established a three-way benefit. The first benefit being a new asset class for investors.
So the rooftop solar system and batteries at IKEA is actually owned by a pension fund. It's a very attractive investment. The pension fund gets a secure, consistent income stream every year for 20 years.
The second one is savings to the customer, reduces their energy bill by at least 25 to 30% over the long term. And then the third is the environmental benefit.
We have a phenomenal team around us. At the moment, we're a group of roughly 50 staff.
About half of us are engineers, and most of those engineers are being employed on R&D today, developing products for increasing the hosting capacity on the network. We're also developing products for people to come off the grid and be self-sufficient in their own renewable energy. We are putting a significant effort into developing microgrid software to enable small townships or single customers to come completely off-grid with completely renewable energy only. Without products like Alexis and other technological developments, the world will not meet its 2050 net zero carbon targets.
Alexis is a critical part of speeding up decarbonization of the electricity grid globally.
Thank you for watching the video. Just to recap, rooftop solar in metropolitan areas is the cheapest and most economic way of producing energy, not to mention the environmental benefits. Our grids were not designed for large amounts of solar. Currently, the only solutions are curtailment or very expensive infrastructure upgrades, or Alexis, which solves these problems to enable the likes of IKEA to transform their sites into urban power stations, which also provide other grid services from the battery to enable more rooftop solar on grids. IKEA has over 350 sites globally and at least 10 within Australia for which we could integrate Alexis and our microgrid model. The inclusion of our Alexis technology is the critical link that makes the IKEA project so innovative and world-leading. We ensure certainty of revenue streams from the export of surplus solar energy and grid stability services, removing the risk of curtailment by electricity network operators. So, what are the specifics of how we're enabling IKEA to become green generators? From a technical standpoint, Alexis is enabling a significantly larger solar system at 1.2 megawatts and a battery energy storage system of 3.4 megawatt hours that would not be possible without Alexis. Our solution enables the move to installing many more of these microgrids required to transition grids to 100% renewable. Alexis is also performing the functions of charging and discharging the battery from the solar and grid and the energy trading algorithms and controls for the FCAS and spot markets. From an economic standpoint, this model creates a new asset class for investors looking to invest in the grid of the future. Projects that can safely, securely, and reliably export surplus clean energy into urban networks. It provides attractive returns, and with this comes significant finance to enable the further replication of these microgrids across C&I sites globally. By attracting third-party investors, commercial building owners now also have the option to utilise their own infrastructure to generate cheap, clean energy without using their own capital. The microgrid in Adelaide with Alexis creates a unique solar generation and energy storage opportunity that enables decentralised generation more broadly. It sets the foundation for a sustainable new energy model for Australia that will play an important role in Australia's energy mix over the coming years. From an environmental standpoint, stage 2 of the project will see the installation of a wooden framed solar carport and potentially a hydroelectrolyser. This will see the site become 100% powered from renewables and then also pushing significant excess renewable energy to the grid, while at the same time providing essential stability services to a more and more distributed grid. We're partnering with IKEA to replicate this microgrid model across their additional sites and look forward to playing a big part in enabling IKEA to achieve their aspirational and world-leading renewable energy targets. Further to this, Alexis will also be employed in the many thousands of C&I sites globally for those companies supporting the transition to 100% clean grid. Jan will now talk in more detail about IKEA's people and positive goals. Thanks, Jan.
Thank you, Jonathan, and let's hope that we don't get more technical problems. Both you and me are actually broadcasting from the other side of the planet. If anyone is listening from Europe, of course, sometimes maybe the line can be a little bit choppy. And thank you also for bringing me along, Jonathan, to this exciting event. And for all of you that are tuning in and listening, maybe a first question comes up in your mind, what's IKEA doing here in this event and this conference? And I would like to kind of just give a little bit of a background, just in 3 different points around why IKEA, and then the question, of course, why now? And I would like to start to say with the point number 1, we have a business idea, and our business idea is quite clear. It speaks about offering wide range of home furnishing solutions with really good design, function, quality, and at prices so low that as many people as possible can afford them. And that business idea was created already 1976, and it's still valid for us. But of course, a lot of things has happened since the 70s, 80s, etc., and so forth. And we, with also all of the many people, there's been a redefinition of what are the boundaries of a home. Home is not just anymore the place where you just sleep and then kind of wake up, but it's all around you in the community, with the people that you interact with, and in the end, close into your neighborhood. So of course, with that, our role to provide solutions becomes much broader than just what happens between the 4 walls. And just as recent as in June, we also launched here in IKEA here in Australia. We stepped into the home solar market, where we offer affordable, cheap, good solutions for home solar panel installations with meters and also with battery options. We also have the second point is that our vision describes that we want to create a better everyday life for the many people. And in order to do that, to reach the many people, affordability is really key to reach the many. We believe that to do the right choice and the morally right choice in life should not cost more than the bad choices. So, for example, normally when you look around you, any product or solution that is kind of deemed as the most sustainable solution usually comes with a premium. And we have set up ourselves that we don't want to go down that route. We want to democratize the sustainability with all of our home furnishing solutions and additional solutions that we will provide. They have to reach the many, otherwise we don't reach a positive impact. The third reason why IKEA is involved in this, that's our specific sustainability strategy that we within IKEA call the People and Planet Positive strategy. This strategy describes our total ambitions to become people and planet positive and to inspire and enable the many people to live a better life within the limits of the planet. And we have set up ourselves also for some tough goals in order to drive this development. And in the next decade, until 2030, we are focusing on healthy and sustainable living, fair and inclusive, and circular and climate positive. And under the circular and climate positive, as 2 examples, we have decided that we want to power all of our operations 100% by renewable energy by 2030. And when I talk about all operations, it's not just the stores, it's our warehouses, our logistics equipment. It's also about the goods movement on land. And we have also taken a vow and a commitment to go for 0 emissions when it comes with all our home delivery, anywhere around where IKEA operations are happening. So these are some of the goals that we're striving for right now. So this is a little bit of the background why we are involved into this. But maybe then the question comes, why right now? And I would like to give 3 specific reasons why. The number 1 is, of course, the technology and the energy storage cost solutions. I mean, there's been an amazing development in the past decade when it comes to cost of new technology and energy storage. And we, of course, recognize and see that solar and wind will play really the key part in transitioning to renewable fueled world in the future. And effective and efficient and, of course, cost-attractive energy and battery storage solutions are really necessary for this. And we can see now that what has played out in the past decades, now it starts to become a very interesting business proposition. And we also believe that what we have seen as a development in the past decades is going to continue to accelerate for the next decade. So this was really one of the first reasons why right now. The second one is around strategic partnership. Of course, we are clear on what we want to achieve, but we are acknowledging also that we are not sitting with all of the answers and the solutions. Solar panels on stores, that's something that we have done for a long period of time, and all of our stores are equipped with solar panels. But we said, why should we only focus on ourselves? We can maybe contribute in a better way to decarbonize electric grids around in the world if we open up and partner up. So it's been important for us to find like-minded companies and that share similar kind of company values as we do, that also are working with a long-term investment horizon and that are purpose-driven with a meaning. And of course, to find partners that are strong and want to collaborate in a good and a great way and cooperate and communicate and so on. And we have found that match, but for example, with Planet Ark, with Jonathan and his organization, but also with the local community in Adelaide, the NGOs, the innovators, and the local and state governments. So this all kind of came all together, and we could just not resist to seize this moment. And the third, and maybe one of the most important part, is it's all the figures stacks up. This is good business. It's a true win-win direction. It's a win-win for us as a business, it's the win for the society, and it's also a win for the planet. And we also see that this is a part of the future, and any business that wants to build some type of a business resilience for uncertainties in the future need to focus within the energy sector, and specifically when it comes to renewable energies. So these are a couple of reasons why IKEA has gotten involved into this and why right now. And I'm also super excited to see that we already start to look at what could it be beyond the phase 1 and phase 2. And what I'm very excited about is that we're now starting up a feasibility study to see how could we actually maybe make hydrogen gas powered by solar on the site, and by that also provide hydrogen fuel to buses for the community. And I hope that this will also can serve as an inspiration for other businesses that definitely should look into similar type of partnerships and cooperations, because it's a part of the future. So from my side, from here in Sydney, Australia, it's 9:22 in the evening. I would like to say thank you very much for tuning in and listening.
Many thanks to all